Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my lovely people, my audiences, and a very good evening to everybody here. And let me first, introduce myself. This is Hina Khan, and I'm certified wellness coach, certified life coach, ex-oil scientist from Indian Institute of Science, and I'm having the star of my show is Maryam Navsa from South Africa, Cape Town, and she is a doctor, a medicinal doctor. At the same time, she is a life coach, and she, talks about spirituality and many things. And she is a much more knowledgeable person, and she is the star of this show, Hina's audience show. And before I could start off with this show, let me brief about what actually is the topic. The topic is about how to you're living your life with greatness, because many people have forgotten to live life with greatness, and this is what we can see what's happening across and around the world because we have stopped living that life. I would love to invite Maryam Navsa on this show. Let me say that, briefing about how we can live this life of greatness. To live life of greatness, we need to have a right mindset. We need to have that kind of right attitude. Maryam, Assalamu alaikum, Maryam.
Alaikum
Dr. Maryam,
salam. Yeah. Maryam is
how are
fine,
you?
please. Call me Maryam. I'm very well,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Very
Okay,
grateful to be
very nice
here
to
with
have
you.
you. Very nice to have you in this session. Well, let me tell the audience, this is Maryam Navsa. She's doctor from South Africa, Cape Town, and she is the star of Hina's live audience show. She's a life coach and she's a doctor as well. So let us hear a brief about her, about Dr. Maryam. Maryam, could you just introduce yourself?
Hi, so assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to everybody else who's just joined us. So yes, my name is Maryam Navsa. I am from beautiful city of Cape Town here in South Africa, and as Hina mentioned, I'm still currently in medical practice. I've been in practice now for the past 45 years. My passion is adding value to people's lives, and that's how I got into life coaching. I've got a special interest in family medicine, which led me into the arena of life coaching. So I'm an author of 2 books, budding author. I'm married. I'm a mother of 3 children, and I've got 3 grandchildren as well too. Pride of my life.
Amazing.
That's me.
That's really great. So, Dr. Maryam, as we have the topic about living life of greatness, so what actually do you suggest people about living life of greatness? Because as we are saying across the world, the kind of life that is happening, the kind of attitude people are bearing, and the mindset that people are living with. So, what do you have to say about how actually people can live this life of greatness?
Sure. So first of all, society places a lot of emphasis and honors external success and external achievement, recognition, status. And unfortunately, there's a tendency for people to measure the greatness of their lives in terms of the external successes, the achievements, the possessions, the kind of honor and recognition society gives them. And that's good enough. It's not that there's anything wrong with having achievements and having certain possessions, but it is certainly not a measure of your greatness in this life. And from my perspective, our greatness is measured in terms of our understanding of ourselves as spiritual beings and our connection to the divine, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, whatever other name it is we give to this incredible source that has given creation to ourselves and this world that we live in. So that is the first point for me that is really crucial for people to understand, that your greatness is in correlation with your connection to your spiritual being and to, most importantly, to the divine. Mm-hmm. And that's how you measure it. But you clearly have to have a sense and understanding of, how do I know, how do I measure, how do I understand when I am connected to the divine and the extent to which I am connected. So based on that, And if I could just take a little bit of a step back so that we kind of get an understanding of this connection to the divine. So we all know about the formal religions, the organized religions that have specific beliefs, values, codes of conduct, very specific ways of worship and prayer. But there are also people, and through that we can connect to the divine, but there are also people who do not belong to any form of religion, and yet they are in total awe of the divine, and they use all sorts of means to get a connection to source, to our creator. Divine. Absolutely. And that's the difference between spirituality and religion. That yes, embedded in the religions and the practices, the reason why we go through those practices is ultimately to connect. But it's also possible to go through those practices and not have that deep connection. So people will do their prayers, they will do the rituals, but they still don't have that deep connection. To our creator. Exactly. And that's where everything lies, in the connection. And the thing about the connection that we have to our creator, it is very personal, it's very individual and subjective, difficult to measure. For example, you and I share the same religion. We use the same practices, but yet, and I'm just using this hypothetically, we each could have a very different connection to our creator.
Yes, of course.
Because it's so individual and personal. And it's often difficult to measure because of the fact that it's so personal. But there are a couple of things that give us an indication as to how we are connected to our creator or not. And with your permission, I'll probably, in fact, do you want me to go ahead and just kind of give a sense to people of how we can measure, unless you wanted to come in with something else at this point?
Yeah, well, yes, but here I would like to add one thing, Doctor. As you are saying that, you know, we have different kind of practices. Taking our religion, we have different practices, but we implement it in a different way. We have a different kind of perception. So when we are living with a perception which is really very different, not which is truly aligning with what actually is said as per the teachings, then here is what we falter in life. Here is what our mindset also speaks, you know, because being a wellness coach, I can just say here one thing: not only you providing or nurturing your body with the kind of food, it also the kind of thoughts that you are trying to nurture your mind with matters a lot to live that life of greatness. So what do you have to say about this when it comes to the mindset of a person, it comes to the attitude of a person?
Absolutely. And I will get to that. So the first thing to notice is, you know, our soul, ultimate purpose for being in this existence is to have an inner sense of peace, harmony, and joy. That's the one. Whatever it is we do, it's to attain that sense of peace. And you're talking about the mindset, which is one of the biggest things that affects that ability to have that inner peace and harmony within ourselves. So the one way of actually measuring this connection is through that. And we look at the kind of things that affect that, and you've just mentioned the one. The second thing is the sense of interconnectedness we have with other beings. The greater our sense of interconnectedness, the more compassionate we are, the more caring we are, the more loving we are and considerate we are, and giving of unconditional love to other people.
Correct.
And then the third thing is, and this is the thing that we're essentially talking about, which is what you've made reference to, is the sense of self-awareness. That sense of mindfulness, the awareness of our thoughts, our feelings, and of our experiences. And being aware of the extent to which the thoughts we are having is serving our lives or not, is serving others or not. The experiences we have and the attitude we have towards those experiences is going to determine whether we're going to be moving forward or not. And then the mindfulness is about, are we stuck in our past? Are we stuck with things that happened there the unpleasant things that is constantly going on in our minds, giving us beliefs about ourselves, about others, about the world that is totally untrue. And we could also be stuck in the future, constantly worrying and fretting about what is going to happen, needing this control of how we want our lives to happen. And all of that causes this unease, unhappiness within our lives, and then affects our interactions with other people, affects our ability to achieve things and move forward in life. So it's that self-awareness that is really, really critical. And it's about, you know, when we come into this existence, we come in with a beautifully clear slate. And then we get exposed to the teachings from our parents, from our teachers, from society, from experiences that now programs our mind into believing certain things about ourselves, others, and the world. And often if those exposures and experience we've had is unpleasant, we get left with these very limiting negative beliefs about ourselves that is going to obviously start impacting others. And the other way we can measure whether we are in, you know, and obviously when you have those thoughts, those feelings, those kind of reactive behaviors towards our experiences, we're out of a line. This is when we distance. Those are the kind of things that distance us from our Creator. Whereas a person who's close to their Creator, they are more conscious of the thoughts and have the ability to actually switch their thoughts into something that is more honoring of themselves and honoring of others as well too. And then the next thing is people who are connected to the Creator, they live in a state of gratitude. Gratitude is their default emotion. It is, even in times, challenging times and circumstances that appear to be so difficult, the immediate thing is, in this moment, what am I grateful for? Because there's pure positivity. You can't have anything but a positive attitude when you're in a state of gratitude. And the other thing about when you're aligned and connected to the divine, you have clarity of purpose. You have clarity of direction. You assume responsibility for the talents and the gifts you have, and you use it in a manner that impacts positively on society as well too.
Exactly, exactly. As you are saying, Doctor, here, being grateful, because this is what is happening with the world. We are learning in comparison. We are so impatient in life. We are also not persevering because we are all the time on the verge of having that instant gratification or instant results in our life. When we are just behind this instant, or they would have tried for some point of time, they have tried for some period, but they give up because of the circumstances, because they have been trying and they are not finding the results, and at one point of time they start blaming. They are showing ingratitude even for all the favors that they had, but still, even in the time of sadness or the darkness of their life, they still do have lot of favors that are gifted by Almighty, which are also hidden and which are also in their view. But it so happens, because of the ingratitude nature of a human or a person, they start falling out of the track. And you know, once they fall out of this ingratitude behavior, when they're always living with that ingratitude, come what may, regardless of your efforts, regardless of all your actions and that rigorous thing that you're doing to achieve that, you will not get it, because you have lived that life of ingratitude. Because Allah says He will bestow upon His favors upon those who are grateful for. We have to be grateful for everything that He has given to us, even in our dark times, even during the time of darkness. That is because He is testing us. At the same time, He is trying to teach us. He is trying to make us more stronger. When you are given some kind of test in the exam, why are you given different kind of test? Because you can perform much better, much better, much better. But what are we doing? We will be grateful to Almighty if you have got something. And many people, they boast that it is because of my hard work, it is because of this and that. But we have forgotten There is the superpower of Almighty that He has destined this to happen, and because of His greatness and because of His mercy, we have been bestowed with that favor. And once that favor is taken away from us, people try to show what actually they are. That gratitude is nowhere existing in them. That goodness or the greatness, that is not existing in them. Even that kindness has gone away from them. Why? Because those favors are removed from them. When the favors are given, you do not show gratitude. When those favors are taken away, you become the worst person of your being. So when you're becoming the worst person of your being, then you are going away from Almighty, and then for sure you are in the total loss of your life, even in this world and as well as in the hereafter. And doctor, I would love to ask you here one thing. When people, I'm basically talking about those kind of people who are always hurting others, who are always toxic, who are putting others down, who is always in the blaming zone and blaming the people around for whatever happens in their life. That is seriously not a sign of greatness or living a life of greatness, because when you start blaming and complaining, it's like it's not a great life, rather.
Yeah.
So what do you have to
No,
speak about
absolutely.
these kind of people, who
Yeah.
always blame,
So,
who always complain, who always find faults in others, regardless of whatever you do to them, regardless of whatever good you do to them, but still you are the worst person in their life. So what do you have to talk about such people?
so first of all, when we understand, and you mentioned this, when we go through dark periods, through challenges, even when we have the kind of people that you've mentioned come into our lives, all of that serves purpose. All of it. Even the people that come into our lives, they've come into our lives in order to give us clarity on who we are and what it is we want in life. So we talk about toxic people, and I will tell you, I'm never really quite in favor of the term toxic, because it gives a very derogatory, judgmental, it puts judgment on people. And I think the first thing to understand, every human being that comes into our life has purpose. It doesn't matter how bad we want to see them as, but they are here for a purpose in life. And I like recognizing and understanding that there are some people who are at a level of awareness that is quite low, that is at a level of consciousness that is quite low, and that they're behaving in that particular manner for whatever reason. Okay, so the first thing for me is to always try not labeling and not judging.
Exactly.
But to come in, exactly, because the minute we label and we judge people, we are already emitting or expressing something that is not natural to us. And this is the whole thing about interconnectedness and understanding. It is, first of all, yes, you do not want to have yourself exposed to that kind of person, okay? Because we do know that it's important. The company you keep is very important. And if there are people in your life that are not adding value to your life, that is draining energy from you, yes, part from them, but wish them well.
Exactly.
Wish them happiness, And if there is in any way you can redirect them, then do that. But the minute we label and judge, there's going to be the tendency that you better. And we should never ever get into that position of feeling, exactly, of feeling better than others. People are all at everybody's journey is unique. And you can't judge the journey of another soul. You have no idea. And even them coming into your lives is serving purpose. Find the purpose. What is there for me to learn, even in this exchange that I am having with this individual? And when a person confronts us with behavior that is not supportive of growth, For me, the question always is, my Creator's placed you in my path with a message saying to me, show me the best of who you can be in this particular situation. Show me the best of who you can be in terms of what this person is busy presenting to you, because that's your purpose. In other words, we should focus on our own personal growth and development. That is the most important thing. That is where our power lies. We do not have influence over the journeys of others. We influence them indirectly by being the best of who we are. Because they then, when they see you presenting the best of who you are, they start remembering the best of who they are and who they could be. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
When you are wishing the best for them, because see, the problem with us is when somebody is praising us, we love them. When somebody points out something that is going wrong in us, we start hating them. Even we start trying to distance from them. But as doctor is saying, exactly, I do agree with that, because even Dr. Dimartini, he says that, because I'm part of his work. So when he says that, yeah, when he says that, always using those judgmental words like toxic or narcissist, these are derogatory words, and these words not to be used, because a human has both the positivity and the negativity in a person. So when you are focusing on the positive of somebody, that will grow. So whatever you focus on, that grows. And if you are always focusing on the negativity of a person, then that also grows. And if we are trying to see something negative in a person all the time, it is like we are seeing our own reflection in others. You are trying to project yourself, your values, your perception on somebody else. So whatever we are, we try to think the same manner about the other person. Rather, when we try to improve ourselves, when we try to make ourselves the best version, because life is only once, because we are not going to get this life again, that we are going to say that, okay, I'm going to be the best person now because I have done all these things so far in my life, cribbing, blaming, complaining, judging, and I'm now going to be the best person. No, that's really not going to happen. But yes, of course, Almighty says that, Allah promises that He's going to give that life again. But this life, if we are not living in a righteous way, then for sure we are at loss in this world and also in the hereafter. So we should stop judging people, and we have to rather bless them, even if they have harmed us, even if they have done something bad to us. We have to bless them rather than being in that cursing phase or blaming phase or always regretting phase. Many people, doctor, even I have observed, they make you feel guilty. They make you feel trip out of that guilt every time, even for the mistake you have done. But Almighty itself forgives that person. Almighty loves repentance. Almighty is already there to forgive. But humans, they do not forgive. They make you feel guilty and guilty. Yes, all the time. So what do you have to say about this? When a person is made to feel guilty, when the person is made to, feel regretful all the time for the mistake that person has done. Though that person want to mend the ways, want to become the best person, but still that person is, pricked and poked and spoken about the guilt and the regret all the time. So what do you have to speak about that?
And the first thing for me is that people don't do things to us. They don't make us feel. We are the ones who do that to ourselves.
Exactly.
We give people the permission to it. We have full control, which we've lost, over the way we can respond to anything, to any situation, to whatever it is someone says. That's the other tremendous gift we were given, is that gift of choice. When you and I are having an altercation, I get to choose how I respond to that.
Exactly.
I don't allow you to make me feel guilty. I don't allow you to make me feel bad. That is my choice. I get to choose, but I have to be steeped in who and strong in who I am, and the understanding of who I am, and the understanding of these inherent qualities I have in myself that I've gotten from the divine. So people can't make me feel something or make me feel bad or make me feel. It's me allowing that, because I have a choice and the power as to how I want to respond to whatever it is you say to me, do to me.
Exactly. Yeah, not only how you have to respond, at the same time, the choice that you're making, how you have to be treated by the people. Because if you are not treating yourself with higher values, then obviously the world will not treat you in the same way what you are expecting, because you yourself, you are not treating yourself in the good manner, right? So even this matters a lot. Yes, doctor.
Absolutely. You are the most important person. If you do not have love and compassion and honor and respect for yourself, that's where it starts. You know, I'm not talking this from an egotistic point of view, but you are the most important person in your life. Because when you fill yourself with all compassion and love for yourself, now you have enough to give to others. So you have to feed yourself that first and foremost, and then see how easy it is for you to give compassion and love and understanding and patience to others. But you first have to give it to yourself. If you haven't filled
when you are filling your pot full with that kindness and love, you will be in a position to give it to others. When you yourself, when you're lacking with that, how can you give something which you are lacking? It is very, very imperative that you need to have kindness. Kindness is the most beautiful thing. And that kindness will turn into love. Loving people, loving the situations, even the kind of challenges that you're facing in your life. There is not even a single creature on this earth who does not face any challenges, who do not face any tough situations in life. Everybody has to go through that in the form of a test. Then only you will be proven as the strongest person. It's not like you're sitting on the couch on the comfort zone and saying that, oh my God, life has to be so easy all the time and I'm not facing any challenges. No, it can never happen. Even a child who is 2-year-old is put into the kindergarten also have to face lot many challenges as per that age. When we face those challenges, when we trust Almighty in the process of Almighty, whatever is happening, when we trust the process, when we place our trust in Almighty, then for sure we are going to be the true winners of life.
Absolutely.
But for that, we should stop blaming and complaining and judging people around, because that does not make us to live the life of greatness. When we are always judging, when we are always focusing on the negative, then that is what it comes into our life. As I'm saying this again and again, what you focus, it grows. If you're focusing on the bad, only bad grows. If you're focusing on the good, good grows. So it is your choice. And it is your choice how you want to be treated by the world. Are you demanding respect from the world? Or are you giving respect to the world? And you are living with that respect. Because I have seen, doctor, many people, more than respecting others, they demand. They expect. They don't give respect. They are not living with respect, but they demand. They have lots of expectations. So what do you have to speak on this?
No, absolutely. You first have to be it. If you are wanting someone to understand you, then you must first be understanding of others. If you want love and compassion from others, you first have to give love, give compassion to others. And as you mentioned, you want respect. First and foremost, you have to be it to be able to receive it. And that is in anything that we want. You know, even if you want abundance in your life, you have to live a life of abundance, of giving to others as well, to be who you want to receive. And it is with all other qualities, as you mentioned. First, be it. You have to be it even if you want to receive happiness, you first have to be happy. You've got to find everything within ourselves to be happy. You know, if you are surrounded by miserable people, you got to start looking at yourself. It means somewhere inside you, there isn't happiness.
Some miserable, yes.
They don't attract miserable people. So as you mentioned, you know, our lives and people are a reflection for us, because often what we've seen in them is what is missing, or is what is something that needs to be healed within ourselves. So yeah, absolutely crucial. And we need to cultivate all the ways and means of connecting. And everything we've spoken about is the more grateful we are, the greater our connection to our Creator. And the greater our connection, the more grateful we feel. The greater our connection to our divine, the more compassionate we are. And the more compassionate we are, the greater and greater. It's this continuous circle. It's about maintaining connection to the divine in whatever way it is that we find comfortable and that suits us. And
Correct.
yeah, maybe we should even mention just a couple of those things that would assist us in connecting to the divine. And prayer is obviously one of the most common ones used. Meditation, periods of silence. You know,
Being silent.
we want to create the space for our Creator to enter and give us the guidance and the wisdom. You cannot hear that guidance and get that wisdom and feel when you're busy in your head all the time. So we need to make the time for silence, for things like meditation, for prayer, for communion with nature. Oh my gosh. You know, if you want to see the divine, just take time and watch a sunrise or a sunset or a starlit sky and just get lost and see how quiet you become, and then how inspired you are with awe and wonder for our Creator that is all of this. It is just incredible. You know, and we have to live in service. We have to give in whatever way we can. And we're not talking about giving huge amounts of money, but give a smile, give a compliment.
Even giving a good advice. Yes, talking good, being kind to them. That's
Absolutely.
really very important. Yeah, being kind to them. Always being harsh or breaking someone's heart or putting them down or humiliating them. That's not the way. Even, you know, showing that kindness to them, having that smile, as doctor is saying, just show a smile. That is the biggest thing. Having the nature of service, you know, helping people, serving them, or doing good to people. And, you know, if somebody is feeling that they are not secure with your presence, or they are feeling that they are going to be harmed because of your presence, then that's not a life of greatness. They should feel the comfort with your presence. They should feel the peace being with you. They should feel that kindness by staying with you. So this becomes a sign of greatness if you have to live a life. At the same time, when you are having that hatred in you all the time, then that is going to be a serious poison. Being a wellness coach, as you know, even Allah says in Quran, ki look around his nature, to ponder it, to think about it. It's very important. Being a scientist, whatever we scientists, we analyze, we talk, is what Allah has already made. Allah has already designed. What Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, has said. This is what is science, and we try to make a research out of it, and that credit goes to the scientist, that this scientist has discovered so and so. But this is nothing but what Allah has created, what Almighty has created. So as the doctor is saying, to remain in that silence is very important, because that helps you to connect with your own self. We become so busy in life, we are so busy in our head, we are so busy with many things across whatever is happening around us, that we start, you know, we stop forgetting about what we actually are. We have that hatred in us, we have that frustration in us, we have those anxiety issues in us. Why? Because we have not connected with our own self. We are not in peace with our inner self. We are always trying to fix the things outside us, but not inside us. So that becomes a problem, where we are projecting our perception, our views outside all the time, and connecting with those kind of perceptions, because already our mind is in chaos. Already our mind is juggling and struggling with a lot of things in life, because we are not in peace. So reading Quran will help you to live in peace. Reading Quran with the meaning and implementing in life helps you to be on track. It helps you, it gives you clarity. Because whatever Allah says is for our purpose, for us to be safe and for us to be successful in both the worlds. But we try to twist and change with the situations, and also to get adjusted with the people. And one more thing, serious thing, which I want to talk about, doctor, is about people pleasers.
Yeah.
Many people, whether it is in terms of their, the clothing they do, or the kind of talk they want to have, or kind of friends they make, only to fit into that circle, they forget what is the actual way of life that they have to live. Their authenticity is gone all the time. They are not living that authentic life at all. They are just trying to please. They're just trying to show the, the inauthentic self. So what do you have to speak on this, doctor?
Yeah.
People pleasing.
No, sure. And I think you've touched on an aspect that is really also so important for us in order to grow and to connect, is the self-awareness. Because people pleasers, clearly that kind of behavior stems from a need, stems from insecurity, stems from the need for acceptance, for recognition. But unless people are aware, first of all, people may not even be aware that, often these behavior patterns are based on subconscious thoughts that we have and beliefs that we have. But the first thing is to bring all of that into awareness, is to be consciously, and you need to be the kind of person who is reflective, who perhaps, and this is where journaling is so useful, where you start really reflecting on your behavior. What are the thoughts that are driving this behavior, thoughts and the feelings? Are they serving me, or are they not? Are they serving others? And if they are not, what do I need to do to change that? And often this is when people need to also come to the realization when they need help, when they need guidance of whoever, a mentor, a coach, a spiritual leader, whoever it is, because often these behavior patterns are so deeply entrenched that it's often challenging for people to get out of it, because sometimes they're not even aware of it. So the self-awareness is the most important thing, is to bring it up into our awareness. And you spoke about learning and reading the Quran. Developing a connection to our Creator, to the higher self, to our higher selves, is a lifelong process. It requires patience, it requires dedication, it requires an openness of mind and heart to transformation. Whatever way it is that you learn and grow, but expose yourself to as much learnings as there is out there. And then more importantly, you've got to take those learnings and you've got to implement them in your life. Having knowledge alone is just totally useless.
Exactly.
You've got to be able
only
to
having the
take it
talent is useless. Only having the knowledge is useless, because nowadays we are having only preachers. But when we see the reality, they only preach. They do not implement. They hardly implement those things in their life, because they want to be that pleaser. They want to have an image with the world, with the society, that they are the best. But nobody is perfect on this earth. There is no perfect.
So we need constant personal reflection on our lives. We cannot go through life without, on a daily basis, just looking back and looking at what it is that I need to change. And you will know, because your soul knows what is best for you. Our soul is constantly shouting out at us to be the best, but we're just not hearing. But the drive is always there if we just open ourselves to it. And we've got to be open to reflecting on our lives, to acknowledging what is going well, what isn't, what is it that I need to change in our relationships. You see it all the time. In my practice, it's a constant dis-ease in relationships between family members. At some point you sit back and you say, it doesn't feel good being this way. And that feeling is the message from the soul. Our soul lets us know when things aren't right through what we feel. So fine, if it doesn't feel good, what is it that I need to change? What is it that needs to make? What shifts do I need to make in my life? And that's got to be a constant, ongoing process throughout life. There should never ever be an end throughout. There is never ever an end to any of that, because we never ever get to know enough. our Creator is an expanse of wisdom, knowledge, love that we couldn't even begin to understand. So it's an ongoing process, and
It's
it's
an
one we should
ongoing
enjoy,
process.
and one should be one
Exactly.
enjoy. That's what we're here for, to evolve, to grow. You know, it's our entire purpose for being here. So yes,
Everybody is born with a purpose. Exactly. Because Almighty creates even an ant with purpose. We are all living with purpose, but we forget our purpose.
yeah,
You know, our purpose is like blame the world, judge people, pull them down, prick someone, gossiping, waste our time. Most of them, they do not use their time with higher value. They do not know that they have come here with purpose. They either live life which is going to be a waste of life, or either they spoil their own life by spoiling their own mindset and their own nature, their own attitude. So having that good awesome attitude and with an amazing mindset will help you to live that life of greatness. Mindset is very, very important. As being a wellness coach, I say again and again to these people, you know, to the world, that not only nurturing your body with the kind of food, even nurturing your mind with those thoughts are important, because those negative thoughts, they become toxic inside your body. They give you all kind of ailments, different kind of diseases, because you have been harnessing those thoughts, and these thoughts have become so poisonous inside your body. They are leading you to different kind of diseases. You give it the name as stress, you give it the name of autoimmune disorders. It can be diabetes, it can be thyroid, it can be arthritis. Why is all that? Because you have been putting yourself so low, you have been so negative about life, you have been so negative about the situations, which you are not been able to control it or handle them. And when it goes out of control, you are having those thoughts in your mind that are killing you inside, that has a lot of effect on your body. Even the cell responds to the kind of thought that is there, because doctor, as you know, that we have trillions of cells inside our body. Every
yes,
cell responds to the kind of thought we give to ourselves. Yes,
and the
doctor.
mind exists in every cell. We have this tendency to think that the mind
Mm,
is in our head, and that's because of the concentration of these trillions of cells. But the mind, which is thought,
mm.
exists in every single cell in the body. So every single cell, as you mentioned, is influenced by the type of thoughts that we have, and will manifest in terms of this disease that we experience in our bodies. So yes, we are not just physical beings. We have the mental aspect to ourselves, and the greatest aspect to ourselves, and I will always emphasize, is the spiritual being that we are. That's the essence of who we are. And if we live lives aligned with the essence of who we are, then everything else just flows and falls into place. Um,
Exactly.
so,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
again, you know, we all at different levels in our existence. Our paths, our journeys are all different. And wherever people are in terms of their paths, we must honor that and use whatever it is we can to assist and help people reach a state of peace, harmony within, and a state where they are providing service and loving kindness to others as well.
exactly. Nobody can challenge Almighty. Nobody can challenge Almighty's power. Nobody can challenge Almighty's creation. Nobody can challenge what Almighty has given or gifted to us, you know, who has gifted Islam as religion, who has gifted to us Quran as a book of guidance. Nobody can challenge that. Even if we are challenging it, is that because we are blind. We are not seeing life, you know, out of that darkness. We are living in that life of darkness, so we behave like that. So whatever is inside us, we try to express that out of anger, out of frustration, out of hatred. But when we are having that peace inside us, then we will be living with peace even with the people around us. So it is totally an understanding that somebody is creating the chaos in life, somebody is creating some kind of hooliganism in their life, is because of they are not living in peace with themselves. This is the problem. So when you are having that kindness, anything can be changed when you are kind, when you are having that essence of love, when you are understanding the loss of the creation, what Almighty has created, when we are aligning with what Almighty has said and implementing it in our life, it will not happen overnight, but with perseverance, definitely. When we, it's just like a diamond. The diamond will not be like a diamond when it is found. So it is given that shine. So same way, we are living beings. When that shine is given to us, though we are an extraordinary human being. To become that extraordinary, we have to get out of that being that ordinary life. Ordinary life is hatred, jealousy, causing harm to the world or to the people, judging the world or judging people, blaming, complaining, dominating, always feeling that you have the control on the other's life. Except Almighty, nobody has the control on anyone's life. Nobody has the control, because the controller is only Almighty, who's controlling this world. But when we forget that, we try to become animals. Sorry to use this word. We are no more humans, because we are not living that life of greatness. When we are not living life of greatness, we try to dictate, we try to control, we try to manipulate, we try to judge, we try to hurt, we try to harm, because we are not living the life of greatness. If we are living the life of greatness, then we will have gratitude. We will not harm anyone, either through our tongue or through our hands. We will not harm anyone. At the same time, we will show kindness. When that kindness is taken away from a human, then that human is not actually a human.
Yeah.
So,
I think the other thing to always remember is that, and as I mentioned this before, that even all these people with behavior patterns that are not serving themselves and serving others, but even in that behavior, they serve purpose, because they present challenges to society, to say to society, in the face of all of this, we talk about wanting to grow, wanting to know forgiveness, to know compassion, to experience it. But in order to experience forgiveness and compassion, we are going to need to encounter experiences that need forgiving. Otherwise, how would I ever know what forgiveness is unless someone presents me with something that needs forgiving? And if ever there's anything that helps me get beyond the judgment, I always try and see the soul that comes with behavior patterns that can sometimes be so horrific, and try and remember that that person is the same soul that I am, and that is just giving me an opportunity to forgive, to experience forgiveness. How else would I know what forgiveness is, or to know what kindness is, unless someone gives me the opportunity to be forgiving? They must give me the opportunity to show loving. They must give me an opportunity to show kindness. I can shout at the top of my lungs that I am forgiving, but if I haven't gone through the experience of knowing what it is to forgive, then I don't know what forgiveness really is. And it's just something for me that is really also beautiful to remember. And remember, our Creator has created balance. At the time, Neil Donald Walsh puts, Deepak Chopra says that for every Hitler that is born, there is a Mahatma Gandhi. There is always balance. There is always balance. Our focus tends to always veer towards the ugly, the bad, the not so good. And unfortunately, media promotes that, because media lives on the horrible sides of life and doesn't present those beautiful things, those amazing people out there that are doing such amazing things and could be so inspiring. But we unfortunately, but it is happening. Our Creator always has balance, even in our lives. We may think that there's only sometimes it's just challenges, it's just trouble, it's just down. But if you look at your life, there is good happening at the same time that you are busy having those downward spirals. Look around and you will know. The fact that you're here and alive and well means, hello, there has to be something good that's been happening in my life. So it's not all bad and all dark and all gloom, even within ourselves. We have to embrace those parts of ourselves sometimes that we don't like, because it's those parts that we don't like that is directing us to the parts that we need to be. It's saying.
It helps us to, yes, to live with gratitude. It helps us to live with gratitude. See, many people, even when we see somebody is in the hospital, we can see we have everything with us. So even we may be cribbing about even having a pimple on the face, or maybe, you know, some kind of fat in some part of your body, and you are always unhappy with that. But still, when you see somebody is lying on the bed, deathbed, then you will really feel that you are grateful for whatever you are having. So when you have this nature of gratitude, so the favors by Almighty also increases upon you. And you can see that happiness. You should be happy come what may. As doctor is saying, there is nothing like only darkness in life, because even Allah promises, Almighty promises, after every darkness, for sure there is light. After every hardship, there is sure ease. But as doctor is saying, again, the media makes a hype of everything. It is the time to stay strong. It is the time to stay united, rather than only preaching and making a kind of, you know, a show off that we are doing so much, we are doing so much. Let us do it with reality. Let us do with that authenticity, with the fear of Allah and for the sake of Allah. Anything you do for the sake of Allah. Even you love someone for the sake of Allah. Even if you are disliking something in someone for the sake of Allah. Even if you are going through some phase of your life, it can be the toughest phase, for the sake of Allah, you are going to embrace that, and you are going to say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allah has put me into this to make me the best. Allah has put through the hardships all His beloved servants. It's not only us. He does that to everybody because He loves them. It's not that because He hates them. So if you want to live that life of greatness, live with those higher values. See, what are you trying to prioritize in your life? Are you prioritizing only cribbing, blaming, or complaining? Are you trying to focus on your weaknesses and your strengths or your inner self and to improve that? Are you giving love to the world, or are you giving hatred to the world? Are you being kind, or are you being harsh? Are you only blaming and complaining, or are you being grateful? Are you having some goals in your life, or you are like, my life has come to an end and I'm not interested in doing all this, or you are just wasting your time? So you have to focus on all this. You have to chart out what is the best and what is the, you know, the worst, and you have to feel what is the priority of your life and what is that you're not prioritizing in your life. So when you understand all these things step by step, then you can definitely live the life of greatness. Everybody is not born successful. Whoever is successful in life, they're not born successful. They become successful with the kind of attitude that they have developed through their life, through those challenges. So challenges only come to make you the best. Always remember, not to make you worse. Whatever the bad is happening is only to bring the good in you, or to bring the good in your life. Always have this, focus on the best, be grateful, and focus on the best, and always bless others. Bless others. Stop judging the world, stop judging people, and bless everyone. So you will be blessed. Forgive others because you will be forgiven. Love others because you will get that love. Yes, doctor. So it was amazing. There is anything more you would love to add here, doctor?
No, absolutely. And I think the one for me, just to wrap it up, is you are essentially a spiritual being. You're endowed with incredible attributes. And we've been placed in this world to experience those amazing attributes and to express them to the world. It's not what we achieve or even the careers we choose, but it's the person we become in the process of reaching out for the. That is the most important thing, and that is what we want to present to the world, to present the best of who we are under all circumstances, and to whoever the individual is. It doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, what they've done, but always present the best of who you are, because that's how we help others remember and bring out the best of who they are. So thank you very much, Hina. I'm
Thank you
grateful
so
for the
much, doctor.
opportunity.
And well, I can say here, my lovely audiences, this is Dr. Maryam Navsa from South Africa, Cape Town. And today, she is the star of Hina's live audience show. And it was really very delightful. It was an honor to have doctor in my show. And I'm really blessed, doctor. Thank you for giving all these kind of, nuggets and the knowledge to the world. And it is really the need of the hour. Almighty bless you. Allah bless you for all that you have spoken today. It's going to be a lot of help to those people who have watched this. And please do watch this recording. And I'm going to come up with the next star of my audience show. And I'm again grateful to Dr. Maryam Navsa for being the star of this audience show. And I'm really honored to have her. Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. And
And my
well, you can
blessings
join
to
me.
everyone who
Yeah.
joined. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank
And
you.
well, I can say
Thank you.
here before I wrap up, this is Hina Ambareen. I'm a wellness coach and a life coach, certified wellness coach, certified life coach, and soil scientist. So you can join me if you want to improve your health or, whether it is your life matters, you can join me. You can connect with me for one-on-one coaching. And you can connect with Dr. Maryam Navsa. Thank you so much, doctor. Once again, Almighty
Thank
bless
you.
you. It was really
My
wonderful to have.
pleasure. My
Thank you
pleasure.
so
Thank you.
much.
Many blessings to all.